Hello, I'm Mr. Johnston. Welcome to Multi-Step Conversions. As we learned earlier, we figured out that moles is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd of anything. For this particular thing, we're going to use particles to volume. So we also have a conversion that we can use for moles to volume. We know that 1 mole is 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd particles, but 1 mole is also 22.4 liters. Knowing that, we can work with our problem and we can solve. So our problem says 3.7 times 10 to the 25th particles of bromine, Br2, has a volume of blank liters. Okay, so just like we learned earlier, let's do our steps. Our first step is to write down our known. 3.7 times 10 to the 25th particles of bromine. And we are looking for liters of bromine. So now that we have our givens, our unknowns, let's go ahead and figure out our logic path. We know we can't go straight from particles to liters, but we can go from particles to moles and from moles to liters. So that means we have 3 steps. 3 steps, 3 brackets. So we make our train track. And we put our 3 brackets in. Now we know the bottom one right here, we're not going to be using in this purpose. So what we can do is we can either put a 1 in it that turns the whole thing into a fraction, or we can put a big X to let us know we don't need it. So then we can fill in our math path at the top. Particles, mole, liter. So we don't have a spot here, so that means we need to step over 1. So same thing, we start with particles, mole, but since liter is what we're looking for, we don't have to go any farther, so we don't have to put anything else over here. So we're done as far as this goes. Now what we need to do is come back and put our numbers in. So we were given 3.7 times 10 to the 25th particles. Our relationship between particles and mole is 1 mole, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. And our relationship between moles and liters is 22.4 to 1. So we have everything filled in now. We still have some things we need to do. This is math. Like terms cancel out. So the particles go, the 1 goes, the mole goes. We are left with 1 unit, which is what we're looking for, and numbers. So now we're just down to strictly math. So this is still set up as a fraction, so let's put our bar in. On the top, open parentheses, 3.7 times 10 to the 25 times, we don't have anything here, we have 22.4 liters. Close parentheses. The only thing we have at the bottom, 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd. We don't have anything else, so we're good here. So now we can do the math. So we pick up our handy dandy calculator. So there's something that's very interesting about these calculators. When you do scientific notation, there's a little blue button at the top that is the second function button. And then the next button you're going to push is the comma button, because right above that comma button are two little e's. And that little e is exponential equation. And that saves you from having to do times 10 and the caret. And it keeps your math simple. I know a lot of y'all like to do the fraction thing where you set it up as a fraction. That's fine, but you still have to remember modes of operation. If you don't do your modes of operation correctly, you're going to get a wrong answer. So we'll walk through the steps on the calculator together. So first things first, force turn the calculator on. We look, open parentheses, 3.7, second function, right above the 7 is the comma, push that, it gives you a little e on the screen, we're going to put in 25. So that gives us this part of it. Then we're going to put in the multiply and 22.4. Then close the parentheses. Now, you can do one of two things. You can either hit enter here and write everything down, or you can hit the divide sign and put in the bottom part. So let's do it where we're going to put in, we're going to hit enter. So we hit enter. This is still set up as a fraction. So make your equal sign and make your bar. And when we hit equal, we got 8.288, and it says E26. Well, that's times 10 to the 26th power. Then 6.02 times 10 to the 23rd power. So now all we have to do is divide. So hit the divide, 6.02, second function, comma, 23, enter. And it gives us 1376.74 liters of Br2. Now, if you want to do this step in one step, so open comma or open parentheses, 0.3 or 3.7, second function, comma, 25 times 22.4, close parentheses, divide sign, 6.02, second, comma, 23, enter. And it gives you the same answer. So this is the steps, the processes for doing multi-step conversions. And this is particles to volume.